As we continue in Paul's letter to the Galatians, today we're in Galatians chapter 3, and I want to highlight verse 25, which says, "But now that faith has come, we are no longer subject to a disciplinarian." When you hear the word disciplinarian, what sort of memories or feelings does that evoke in you? I'm guessing for most of us, the word disciplinarian is not necessarily a happy word or a positive word. I would guess for many of us, the word disciplinarian conjures up an image of perhaps a person who is harsh, difficult, challenging, not easy or comfortable to be around. And I think many of us associate a disciplinarian, especially with punishment, that you did something you weren't supposed to do, you broke a rule, you transgressed, and now there's going to be a punishment or you're going to pay for it. And Paul, in this case, is referring to the Mosaic law, that the law of Moses was like a disciplinarian that basically shows us as people, this is where you transgress, this is where you broke the law, this is where you went outside of the bounds of God's will for your life. But I want to go back to the beginning of the verse. But now that faith has come. Faith in Christ is a transformational event. Now that faith has come, we are no longer subject to a disciplinarian, meaning the law, but through faith, as Paul continues in the next verse, we are all children of God in Christ Jesus through faith. And this is very different. I was having a conversation this past weekend with someone who grew up in a very different expression of Christianity than I grew up in as an American Baptist. And he grew up in a very, I would say, harsh, judgmental, strict kind of sect almost of Christianity. And part of what I shared with him as I listened to him was about how much our image of God shapes our understanding of what it means to be a Christian, and how I believe very much that we worship a loving God, a God who's like a loving parent. The Bible tells us God is love, and anyone who doesn't love doesn't know God, for God is love. And he grew up in a tradition which very much viewed not just the Mosaic law, but God as a very harsh, judgmental disciplinarian. And I just want to underscore for all of us today that that is not the God we worship. And through Christ, we are all children of a very loving and gracious God through faith in Christ. And I pray that your faith will rest in that knowledge.